Hello and welcome to another video from Minus Ducks Toys, Games, Collectibles. And today, well, we're looking at something that's not altogether that old, but is very collectible and is becoming increasingly more difficult to find, especially in this mint unopened condition. We are looking at the 2015 release by Mattel from their Star Wars Hot Wheels series of die-cast miniature models. And this particular one we're looking at today is from Star Wars The Force Awakens. And it is of the First Order Special Forces TIE Fighter that appeared in the movie. Now, Star Wars The Force Awakens, or also known as Episode 7, is a 2015 American epic space opera film that was produced and written and directed by J.J. Abrams, and really is the sequel to The Return of the Jedi, and it is the first installment of the Star Wars sequel trilogy, and chronologically the seventh film of the Skywalker saga, which is collectively what all 9 films have now become known as. Now, it's set 30 years after Return of the Jedi, and The Force Awakens follows Rey, Finn, Poe Dameron and Han Solo's search for Luke Skywalker and their fight in the Resistance, which is led by General Leia Organa and veterans of the Rebel Alliance against Kylo Ren and the First Order, which is a successor to the Galactic Empire. So you've got an all-star film cast, which includes Harrison Ford, who reprises his role as Han Solo, Mark Hamill, Luke Skywalker, Carrie Fisher as Princess Leia, or General Leia now, Adam Driver, who is Kylo Ren, Daisy Ridley is Rey, John Boyega, who is Finn, Oscar Isaac, who is Poe Dameron, and then you've got Andy Serkis, who plays Snoke, and you've also got Anthony Daniels and Peter Mayhew, who reprise their roles as C-3PO and Chewbacca accordingly. Now, the film was extremely popular, and obviously after waiting all this time for another movie, the last film was the 2005 Revenge of the Sith, and so we were 10 years on when the Force Awakens finally hit the screens. Extremely popular film. There was queues all around the cinema to see these films, just like there was for the original Star Wars. And the film ran for about 138 minutes. Interestingly, the budget for the movie was $533 million, which is a gross amount. But at the box office, it took $2.071 billion. So a huge return on a layout of $533 million, which was a huge budget as well for a movie. But there we go. Anyway, obviously the movies spawned an awful lot of merchandise because of the popularity, and this is one of those items that was spawned from the movie, and this is the Star Wars Special Force First Order Special Forces TIE Fighter. This is the packet it comes in. You can see you've got that lovely artwork image on the top left hand corner of the TIE Fighter. It says Star Wars First Order Special Forces TIE Fighter, and it says Star The Force Awakens Wars. Ages 4 and above, you've got the Disney logo on the left hand side, and it says Hot Wheels, and it's one ship. It says ×1 ship in the packet. Okay, that's the front of the packet. Let's spin it around now and have a look at what we got printed on the back. Okay, so I'll turn the card around, and really got a great deal on the back. You can see an image of the TIE Fighter on the flight stand, which was a stand that you could display the item on, but it also sat on your finger so you could move them around in a simulation of them being in flight. And so you got the warning information, not for children under 3. At the bottom you've got all the licensing and copyright information. You've got all the relevant logos, the Hot Wheels logo, the CE markings, the Mattel logo, and it shows you the other 3 items or 4 items in the series. So you've got the Millennium Falcon, you've got the X-Wing, you've got a standard TIE Fighter, and you've got the, can't remember what that last one is, but yeah, and then you've got the barcode and the item number on the left hand side. Okay, that's the back of the packet. Let's turn it back around to the front and let's have a look at the item itself. Okay, so I've zoomed right in on the packet and there you can see the TIE Fighter, and it really is a lovely looking model, I've got to say. Really does look the part. I'm sorry if we're getting a little bit of glare. I'm just going to put the light on and see if that takes, that's better, it takes away the glare a little bit. So there we can see, so you've got the white wings, white and black wings, the body of the TIE Fighter, and you've got that red marking on the side which indicates it's the Special Forces one, and the red lights at the bottom there. So it really does look very, very nice. And of course you get that little display stand here which also acts as your flight simulator, so that clips over your fingers, you can see in the picture, and clicks onto the bottom of the TIE Fighter, as you can see at the bottom there. And that goes out and you can, as I say, you can simulate it being flown. Now sadly, obviously, because this is still sealed, I can't actually open this pack. However, what I can do, show you a model of the TIE Fighter, the standard TIE Fighter. This is not a Special Forces one, but it is a standard TIE Fighter, and it is pretty much the same as the Special Forces one. A few slight differences, obviously, because this one is not the Special Forces, but where you can see on the packet you've got the red stripe on the side, this one doesn't have it, and you can see the periscope at the top there, or the sensor at the top there. That one's a lot taller than the one we've got on the top of this particular model, but other than that they're identical models. So let's get some sizes. So we're looking at the length of the wings are about 6.5 centimeters, and if you measure across the body, we're looking at about 4.5 centimeters, and the width of the wing is 5 centimeters. So that gives you an idea of the size. The body is die-cast metal of the body of the die-cast ship, and the wings are plastic. But it's even so, they just look incredible. And there's the little slot there that the stand will plug into, and then that will sit on your finger. Now I didn't bring one of the stands in with me, so I can't actually show you how that goes on, but literally it does, just as in the picture, as we saw here. It just literally clips onto the bottom there, and you can move it around just like you've shown in that image there. So really, really nice little models. I've got quite a few of these on display at home in my cabinet, and I have got them slightly angled, so they do actually look like that as they're flying through space like that. So a slight angle. I didn't have the stand in all the way. I just put a little bit of blue tack on one side, and I angled the stand so it does sit on the display stand slightly angled. You do need to be a little bit careful it doesn't topple over, but I did that so it gives you the simulation that it's on an angle rather than just straight. I think it just looks absolutely better and more authentic with it being at an angle. But anyway, so that is the TIE Fighter, or the Special Forces TIE Fighter, from Mattel, part of their Hot Wheels group for the Star Wars Force Awakens series of their models. Okay, so how well did these do back in 2015, I hear you ask? Well, pretty much like everything that was released for the Force Awakens, because it had been a 10-year hiatus since the Revenge of the Sith. We'd had nothing on Star Wars, really, although there was some animated programs that were being run on some of the channels, but no blockbuster movies. So merchandise was few and far between in comparison to what you would have expected. However, with the announcement and the launch of the new movie trilogy, that changed things dramatically, and so much merchandise again was produced for the Force Awakens, pretty much like it did when the prequel trilogy was announced. There was merchandise everywhere for Star Wars again, and it was no exception with the Force Awakens. And pretty much everything that was released sold very, very well, and these Mattel Hot Wheels were no exception. They were released and sold exceptionally well. I don't actually know what the numbers were, but I can tell you that they weren't on the shelves for too long. Obviously, they were produced in mass quantities, but yeah, they weren't on the shop shelves for very long. They did all sell because it's a nice size model for collectors and for kids to play with. So yeah, they've done quite well with these. Okay, let's move forward to 2025, which is where we are today. So we're only going forward 10 years. Do these models come up for sale very often on the platforms? Well, funny enough, now we say that, not as often as they used to. Now, we used to see these very, very regularly on the platforms, but now not so much. Now, is that because all the collectors have actually got them now? I don't know. Or is it that the amount of stock that was produced has just now run out? I really don't know. But I mean, yes, they do come up for sale on the platforms, but not as regularly as you would have expected them to, considering that it's only 10 years since the movie was produced. Don't get me wrong, you can find plenty of them loose. What I'm talking about really here is in this sealed mint condition, as this particular one is. But the only thing I will remind you of is that if you are buying on a platform, do be careful, because somebody's idea of very good condition could be somebody else's idea of acceptable condition. There is a big scope of differences between people's opinions, so bear that in mind when you order on a platform. And don't forget, some of the platforms use stock images and stock descriptions, so you could be looking at a mint unopened item like this. However, if there's no new available, it will automatically go to the cheapest used item, and that might not be what you're looking for. So do bear that in mind. If it doesn't say new on the page and it does say used, click that used link and read what you're about to order, to save any disappointment when the item arrives, because it wouldn't be the fault of the seller, and it's obviously not the fault of the buyer. It's just the way the platforms work. Now, alternatively, you can come straight to us at By Mattel Toys, Games and Collectibles, where what you see in front of you is exactly the item you will receive should you wish to order. And this particular item is no different to any others. This particular item was part of a shop buyout. We bought out a shop that closed down during the COVID time, and after COVID they asked us to come in and to buy out all their stock, which we did do, and there was probably 30 or 40 of these Mattel Hot Wheels miniature models, obviously all different ones, and we are beginning to make those models that are available to our customers on the By Mattel website, which you can get to very simply by clicking the link below. It will take you straight to the website, where you'll be able to find this and many other vintage Star Wars items, and many other vintage toys, games and collectibles. Come to that, there's over 10,000 products currently available on the website for you to view and purchase at your leisure. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button, because we're uploading videos for every new item that goes to the website. There will be something for everybody, and I'm absolutely positive that this is something that you're not going to want to miss, because we literally have thousands and thousands of new items which we're shooting videos for and uploading on a daily basis. So if there is something in particular you're looking for, something old you'd never been able to find, something quirky that you might want to buy for a friend, or perhaps just something from your childhood that you'd like to own again to help you recuperate those long lost childhood memories, well, stay tuned, keep watching, because you never know the next item we upload could be that item you've been looking for. Okay, that is it for me on this particular item. I do hope you've enjoyed reviewing this wonderful vintage Star Wars The Force Awakens Special Forces TIE Fighter Hot Wheels miniature model with me. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you again next video. So bye for now.